Hey guys, welcome to the Austin and Arthur Show.
You're listening to the Austin and Arthur channel, Unfiltered.
Yeah, we're basically just two American guys living in Japan talking about our experience, and we thought it'd be helpful for you guys.
So if you want to listen to us raw, you can listen to our AA channel.
Yeah, the Austin and Arthur Show channel. We have all of our videos with no subtitles. It might be a little bit difficult for you to check your listening or understand. So if you want to check how much you understand, we put the same conversation with English and Japanese subtitles on my main channel, Uconnect, where we focus on actually learning real English. So I think the link will be in the description below. You can check the video on the Uconnect channel for that.
And if not, keep listening to us raw here.
Gross.
Raw is such a weird word.
It is. It is. All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Beautiful.
Ooh,
oh, this is nice.
This is good. This is good.
So this
Yummy.
is Chisane from, I don't know how to read this, Yama Aizuri. That's what it is. It's right over here. And this is from Aichiken. It was actually sent by one of my students, Ota-san, who finished our program in Uconnect recently, made a bunch of friends. And he really likes our show.
Yeah.
So he didn't just give us one, he gave us 2 bottles.
Crazy. Ota, you are the GOAT.
The GOAT.
As the young people will say,
so,
the greatest of all time.
Right. So GOAT is the initials, the kashira emoji of greatest of all time. GOAT is GOAT.
Yeah.
So I remember when someone called someone GOAT the first time, I'm like, what?
Ah!
no, not that GOAT, not that GOAT.
I guess that's more of a sheep, but whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Dude, it's, for me, they were kind of the same growing up, but in Japanese, you have ba and me for the difference between them. Did you really differentiate between them in English?
I don't know. One's got fur, the other has horns.
I know, but the voice.
I guess sheep have horns too. I don't know. Like, I always thought it was like, but like goats got more associated with like screaming like, ah!
yeah, for those YouTube videos of goats screaming like humans. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But anyways, well, Ota, this is really smooth. I really like this. And I was going to say, send us another one, but you did.
You already
so we got
did.
2. So
you are a goat.
Yes.
Great. This is so good.
Yeah.
Man. Awesome choice.
And I think we're going to also talk about a topic that he's going to like, which is, what is a real American?
Dude, I've been waiting to talk about this because, it's so funny. So I want to talk about Japan's persona of America.
Cowboys.
But there is a line or like a joke about American culture that I love so much. So this stems from Street Fighter.
Street Fighter? Oh yeah.
And I want to
no,
yes. So there's a lot of American characters in Street Fighter. And they're all like these like over the top, giant, ultra buff, super smart, successful, like really like awesome guys, right? And the saying is like, be the American that Japan thinks they are.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That.
And I love that saying so much.
Yeah. I want to try to get a picture of this. So
be the American that Japan thinks you are.
Oh, I forgot to post it. Can you tell me? Oh crap!
Do we gotta pause?
I don't think we need to pause. I think I just need to get glasses.
Dude, Arthur's old now. I don't know if you guys realize this. He's not a young buck anymore.
That's pretty chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna open up this one instead.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties on.
He's an old man. He needs glasses.
I'm an old man. I need glasses. Oh crap.
Well, I'm going to fill the void.
Yeah, fill the void,
Speaking of glasses, I really want to get LASIK.
You want to get LASIK?
Like the laser?
Are you going to get in Japan?
Yeah. Probably not anytime soon. Maybe in like the next year or 2.
Okay.
But I really want to get it. But it's so funny because there's such a stigma towards LASIK here in Japan.
Really?
Do you know about it?
No.
So I've talked to people multiple times in probably the past couple decades. It's weird to say that, but yes. It's been the past couple decades.
Yeah.
I've talked to multiple people about this, and there's always been the stigma in Japan about LASIK. They're like, no, you can't get it in Japan. They will screw it up. And this is not like foreigners saying this. This is Japanese people saying this to me. Like, you cannot get LASIK here. They will screw it up. And that has always been the most insane thing to me because, like, when I think of Japan and when I think of, like, medicine here, it's like Japan's, like, one of the top in the world.
Yeah, but I do say, I feel like the doctors here are more careless than they are in the States.
Sure.
Probably because they're earning less money and they're more rushed for time.
But, like, I'm not going to go to, like, some cheap parlor, like, LASIK place behind, like, Kawasaki Station. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to LASIK, I'm going to go to, like, a proper, like, medical center, right?
Yeah.
It's just always cracked me up. But yeah, I want to get LASIK, dude. I'm tired of glasses.
I'm
glasses
tired of
are lame.
Too, and I don't even have them.
They're lame.
So, you know, it's funny. Back in college, I went to see an optometrist, and I bet you she probably just wanted extra money, whatever, because she said I should get glasses. And
you would be so much more attractive with glasses on.
And so I got glasses, but they hurt my head. They hurt my head because they didn't really match very well.
Sure.
And I just got so tired of them after one day. I never put them on again, and then I was done.
Yeah.
You know? But anyways, so you were talking about Street Fighter, and I found it. These characters.
Yeah, dude.
These guys.
Like, pull them up. Like, look at how cool that guy
Hi,
looks.
I'm an American military guy.
That guy is so cool, right?
Yeah.
And there's a number of other American characters, but it's like you always see like Americans depicted as in anime as like these just giant successful men.
Yeah.
It's just so funny because it's like, oh, that's what Japan thinks of as Americans.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like I don't know. It's funny because when I look at like American characters in anime or something, people talk about like they're always bigger and stronger, and I'm sure there's a reason for that, you know.
Yeah,
but it's
like,
just.
Sorry to interrupt, but like, imagine like a black anime character. I bet you can imagine exactly what they look like every time.
Yeah, they have an afro.
Or bald.
Or bald, yeah.
There's like one of the two, but they're always like these giant, like ultra buff dudes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're always like really depicted as being very cool. Right? And it's just like, I feel like Japan's image of America is just like everybody's super cool and very, very attractive.
And very buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny though, because when
spoiler alert, they're not. There's a lot of fat people in America.
Dude, America is like almost 70% obese.
Dude,
now.
it's crazy. I mean, look, we shouldn't say something.
I know, well,
but like,
I mean, we're part of the demographic.
We are part of the demographic. Like, look, I could lose some weight, but like,
what's funny is like, okay, so I'm sure there's preservatives and stuff in Japanese food too. But a lot of the people in America talk about we're so fat because the government is poisoning us.
No, you're fat because you eat too much.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem.
I know, but it's funny because if that was the case, then all the Americans who come to Japan would lose weight, and they don't.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, look, if you want to be fat, like that's your thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna like get on somebody's case, but like you have to be skinny.
Yeah.
If you want to be fat, like that's your choice. But like, come on, like just be honest with yourself. Like, you're fat because you eat too much. Yeah. Right.
So that's the real image of what we have as Americans. You know, it's funny because, you know, we're talking about what a real American is I feel like you and I, we come from very different backgrounds.
Very different, yeah.
You're from the West Coast, cowboy country.
Yep.
And I'm from the East Coast, which is colonial country.
Yeah.
And wearing the petticoats and like the wigs and stuff like that.
We shoot Native Americans and, have slave labor and like, live off the land.
Yeah, we just gave them the diseases and then they all died.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, that kind of cowboy culture growing up, I think it was more common in my dad's day in like the 50s. Like he had like the cowboy hat and stuff.
Yeah. John Wayne and
that stuff. That was the 50s was the time of the Western. That's why in Disneyland they have like a Western area, because that was like one of the main genres on TV.
Yeah.
But for me, growing up on the East Coast, that kind of way of thinking is so foreign. But then when I went to Seattle, I was like, oh, this is like the pioneer Oregon Trail cowboy culture.
Please never say Oregon again.
Sorry, Oregon.
Oregon. Oh,
Oregon
Jesus Christ, Arthur.
No. So here's the funny thing, because I know it's Oregon, and in the state, I'll say Oregon. But I grew up saying that the name,
Oregon Trail?
The Oregon Trail. So it came out. It came out. Sorry. So for those of you who don't know, a lot of people from the West Coast hate it when people say Oregon.
Or Washington. That's another one that triggers people.
Washington, but isn't that like Washingtonian?
Yeah, but that's because like old Washingtonians are from the East Coast.
We don't talk like that.
Yeah, maybe it's like Maine. I don't know. One of you guys says Washington.
Okay.
It's one of you guys.
Yeah.
One of you guys.
One of you guys. No, but it's, so anyway, so whenever you go to Oregon, don't say Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon.
So it's really crazy. Like, I really want to highlight just how different our cultures are despite being from the same country.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you come from a colonial mindset and you can go, I mean, God, I'm sure there's like a million places in Boston alone that are like cultural centers from colonial America where it's like, Figgeby McGuffin back in 1692, planted the first corn in Boston. And because of that first corn was like thrown at a British ship during the Civil War.
Well, check this out. I want to show people.
Hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're going to love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur friends, you're going to really improve your English listening. And I mean a lot. As a friend of ours, you will get each episode ahead of time with no ads, so you can watch before anyone else. But not just that, you can ask us questions or leave comments, and we will make a special video each week answering questions and responding to comments. These videos will not be released publicly. They are for friends, members only. It's a great way for you to ask our opinions directly and for us to respond directly. You'll also get listening practice questions and answers that you can check. Answers are for friends, members only. Oh, and anaume mondai mo desu ne. So you can check your listening. But not just that, for each episode, you'll get a list of native phrases we said from the video, along with practice sentences and pronunciation practice to help your speaking as well. You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely not.
This is a great way to support our show, but also get closer to us and improve your English as well. For more information, click on the link in the description box, the gayorang, or go to our website, austinandarthur.com.
First corn in Boston, and because of that first corn was like thrown at a British ship during the Civil War.
Well, check this out. I want to show people kind of like the atmosphere that I grew up in. So these are pictures from my hometown, right?
Okay.
Marblehead, Massachusetts. Worst named town ever. But like, look at these buildings. Straight out colonial painting.
Yeah, exactly, man. So the funny thing is we have the exact same thing on the West Coast, but like you said, it's cowboy culture.
Yeah.
So like we have towns that look like this, but they're not colonial towns. They look like old Western towns that you'd see in a cowboy movie. Like Bothell. Bothell was a great example. Yeah. It's recently been renovated, so it's all uppity and like college town now. But dude, like 20 or 30 years ago, you still had the old like cowboy buildings.
Look up for Bothell?
You look up Bothell, Washington, like old photo. So this is downtown Bothell. This is my hometown I grew up in.
Should I show this picture?
Yeah, so that's like present day downtown. Okay. But like look up like old Bothell.
Old Bothell. Okay, I'm gonna look up old.
Yeah, dude, like look at you see these like Western like these go to the one on the left. This one's like a really good example of a building that was built in like that building, I guarantee you was built in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, man. You have this old style. This is what cowboy buildings used to look like. You had these old style. It's like giant front. Yeah. And then there's a little bit of a dip and there's a ledge.
Yeah.
And it goes back. And the reason for that is that's where the signage would go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then usually on the second floor, there was one of two things in these style buildings. These buildings were almost always 2-story buildings.
Yeah.
The second floor would either be a storage if the building was a store, or it'd be a saloon.
Yeah.
So like, if they didn't need storage, they would open up and that would be a drinking area for people to like go upstairs.
Second floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so we don't have stuff like that where I am from. Everything was very much, you had stores on the first floor and you'd have kind of people living on the second floor, but they didn't really have dope stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, when I come to Japan and I talk to people, mainly my student audience skews older, like 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
I talk to them about what they think of when they think of America, and a lot of people say like cowboys.
Yeah.
And stuff. And it's funny because I never grew up with cowboys.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like these people who love American culture, they want to talk to me about America. Yeah. But that's not my American culture. That's
Dude,
closer to your American culture.
It's so funny, and I think it's because like Japan and the US have like existed in these like weird worlds where it's like there's like two completely different things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like you have samurai and cowboys existing in literally the exact same time as each other.
Yeah.
And there's so many historical documents of like during like Meiji era Japan, like diplomats from Japan coming over, like still wearing like kimono, armed with like, you know, katana and everything. They would come over to the US, and usually they would go to like California or Washington because that was the closest area, right? And they would like just record what they've seen, and they're just like, yeah, this is this crazy land. Everyone just rides horses around and shoots each other.
Yeah.
Like there's no law at all. There's like no government over there. It's like, yeah, dude, yes, literally. But this is not America. This is like this weird, because, you know, like America was still trying to settle this land.
Yeah. And
like realistically, the West Coast didn't even really become a thing until after the Civil War.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It, like leading up to like the crazy thing, if you look at the American Civil War, there was almost no involvement whatsoever with the West Coast. And that's because people there were so disconnected with things. There's like, I mean, we basically don't even live in the US right now. We're like in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Right? And there was no government. There was basically no government in California up until like the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Like the only form of government were like local deputy sheriffs and federal marshals. That was it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, you have to think about it, right? So trains come about around like the 1850s, 1860s, around the time of the Civil War, right?
Yeah.
And before that, how could you get through America? You had to have a wagon with a horse.
Yeah.
And like there's no roads, or there's some kind of, you have some Oregon trails. No. So
no, we're going to get demonetized.
Yeah,
on
don't
YouTube
do that.
for
Don't
that.
do that one.
That was a squirt gun.
That was a squirt gun. I'm shooting water to my temple. No, but the but anyways, but yeah, so so the thing is that when you think about America, so America has 3 time zones if you don't include Hawaii. I think it is.
Yeah.
Is it 3 or 4? You have
I think it's 3.
Eastern,
Central, and Western.
Or
Pacific.
Is Mountain Time Central, or is there another?
I think it's Central Mountain Time.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's. I think it's 3.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and if you don't include Alaska or Hawaii.
So right now as we're filming this, it's 5:30 p.m. What time is it in Seattle now?
Why would you ask me that right now?
I thought you would know.
I look at my phone.
Okay, so here, I'm going to look it up now.
No, dude, I'm going to look it up. I can tell you. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, so you know what? Yeah, so it's 3 hours difference because it's 4:30 in the morning in Boston right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you think about it, it's 3 time zones apart. That's how big it is. Japan's 1 time zone, right? And if you don't have a train, everything is so disconnected, you know?
You know, I'm glad that you brought this up because this has nothing to do with the actual topic of this channel, this episode. But I want to talk about this because, like, there's this stigma of Americans not being educated about countries around the world, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you guys don't know what like countries are in Europe and Asia."
Yeah,
and it's like you need to understand the reason why the average American doesn't travel to other countries is because America is so large. There's so many different cultures in America that you can spend your entire life traveling around the U.S. and you won't run out of places to go.
America is like the size of Europe.
It's huge, dude.
Yeah.
And people really just don't grasp that. It's like, dude, okay, name a climate, and I guarantee you there is a place in the United States you can go to, and it's like one of the top places in the world to go to for that climate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. There's a lot of variety in America.
There's so much, right? And so it's like the reason why Americans come off as ignorant is because we just travel around inside our own country a lot. But I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. So then, you know, we talk about how, you know, West Coast, East Coast is so different. Also, Southern culture is so different.
Very.
We all have a common language.
Yes.
But what is it that makes someone an American? Like, what's the thing that connects us? Because
I've heard a bunch of different things, and like I'm gonna let my bias show from my military side. So recently, man, I always inject politics into this.
Okay. That's fine.
But recently, like, with the Iran war and everything, right, going on, there was an American fighter jet that was shot down, and the pilots survived, and there was this big rescue operation that went down. And there's been a lot of criticism of that rescue operation to recover those American pilots in Iran.
Okay.
Because someone posted a big picture because there was multiple planes shot down in the attempt of rescuing them, but no one was killed, right? So you have it showed this big lot, and it shows the fighter jet that was shot down. It showed 2 helicopters that were shot down in an attempt to rescue. It shows a giant cargo plane that got stuck in the sand as it was trying to take off and escape with everybody on board. And then it shows like some other stuff. There was no loss of life, but it's like it was a big criticism of America. It's like, you guys wasted like all of these like multi-million-dollar planes just to rescue one guy. And there was one comment against that, which I think really highlights American culture. It's like, if you don't understand why America is willing to sacrifice all of those things to save one person, you're not American.
Yeah.
And that really highlights the American like idea. Is like, look, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I have to do in order to get what I want. Right? It's like, you look at Manifest Destiny, this idea of like, we're just going to go over here. We're going to take all this uncharted land. We're going to figure it out. I don't have a plan for getting this land. We don't have a plan really set in motion to like rescue these people. It's like the American like do it yourself attitude. Like, all of this combines into this one thing of like, look, we have a code of values as Americans, and we're going to do whatever we can to stick by that code, even if it means like sacrificing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, because I was actually going to say something similar, because America is the only country, to my knowledge, that was founded on an idea.
Yeah.
That was founded on a philosophy. You could say that the modern nations are nations that have been founded with like
ideas, political philosophies.
But it's also very tightly connected to the ethnicities there.
Yes.
America is the only nation that I know of that was made. Well, you have Australia and stuff like that too. That was like made
it's
with
different though
immigrants.
Yeah.
And like the thing about America that's kind of unique is that people willingly left where they were coming from to go get something better.
Yes.
Goes back to 1629 when the Mayflower came over, my people, it goes into the people who were the pioneers who left that and went to the West.
Yep.
And you kind of really see that in like the entrepreneurial spirit in States.
I mean, you see it everywhere. You see it literally manifested everywhere. I mean, like, I can give you a million examples. Like, recently America just went back to the moon.
Oh, it did?
How did you not hear about this, Art? Do you live under a rock?
I don't watch the news because there's so much bad stuff on the news.
See, the U.S. just launched a lunar mission a month ago.
Oh, cool.
Where they went and flew by the moon. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, it's really cool. It's called the Artemis program.
The Artemis program.
So they launched astronauts, and this mission specifically just flew around the dark side of the moon. Okay. So all these people who think that the lunar landing was fake, well, you just got BTFO'd. Means back the fuck off.
Yeah.
It does exist. We actually went to the moon.
Did they find the flag that Neil Armstrong planted?
So you can see that landing site from a telescope. I do not understand why people think that is fake. But anyways, so the rocket brought astronauts, and I believe they brought a Canadian with them as well. I think she was Canadian.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they went around the moon and came back, and that was the first like proof of concept. The next mission, they're going to do a landing, and then after that, they're building a lunar base. Like a lunar observatory where people are going to live for like, because basically they found out that the space station's unsustainable. Like for long periods, and so they want to bring astronauts and scientists up there for like a year. And it's just way easier to do like where gravity exists. Because your body doesn't like just deteriorate rapidly. But yeah, so like there's so much evidence of the US in that like kind of entrepreneurial like adventurer spirit. And that's an integral part of like the American identity.
What so on the other hand, I think especially for Japanese people, that can also feel really like strong-handed, like the thing the thing that it takes me back to is the black ships with Matthew Perry when they came over to Japan.
I mean, America invented the term gunboat diplomacy. And that's literally Matthew Perry, right? And America's doing it right now with Iran too. What did America do to get Japan to become an international country? They parked a bunch of warships outside all of Japan's harbors and said, you have two options. You can start trading with us or we'll kill you. And we'll find someone who will trade with us. Right? And I mean, I can't even count on one hand how many times America's done that. Do it all the time.
So a lot of people though would look at that and say, well, then America's just a bully.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Right? I'm not going to disagree with that.
So it's that. And it kind of reminds me of like Genghis Khan, just kind of taking over because you can,
I like no, but it's true though. Look, if I'm going to spout off about all the things that I like about the United States, it's only fair that I have to acknowledge its criticisms, because that is a big criticism. Out of the 250 years that the United States has been a country. I think it's now 26. I think it's 26 years now that America has not been at war with another country.
So out of 250 years, America's been at war for 224. Of those?
About. I think like give or take a year or two. But it's America. We like war. That's a big part of it, and it's like if you're really going to embrace American identity, that's something that you have to accept. Because war is a big part of our culture. And you might look at that and go, well, like that's so barbaric, and it's like to really understand that, you have to understand of like the situation of like how America was like created as a country. It's like we were created through war. Every part of our history, every part of like American expansionism has been. There's been war involved with that. You look at the Civil War, you look at the American Indian War, you look at the Revolutionary War, you look at, the war with Native Americans over in the West between, pioneer settlers and Native American tribes. Like, there's always been conflict in our history.
It's funny though, because in when I think about the Declaration of Independence that they wrote, which didn't kickstart the Revolutionary War. That was a little bit afterwards. But they talk about how, all men are endowed by their creator to have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So then, but you could also say that America using gunboat diplomacy is actually not following that.
But that doesn't apply to the other people because they're not American.
No, but it says all people. It's not the Constitution. It's the Declaration of Independence. It says all men are endowed by their creator. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness.
Well, we're giving them the pursuit of happiness, but we're also looking out for our pursuit of happiness.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I feel like so.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I understand the hypocrisy.
Yeah. Because it's funny because especially growing up in Boston, where the Boston Tea Party happened, and all the people you read in their textbooks, their houses are around where I lived. And what's amazing is
you ever been to Lexington?
I have been. I've been in Lexington.
Yeah,
I've been. It's really like walking through the Northeast is like walking through a museum sometimes.
I mean, that's what I imagine when I imagine the Northeast.
There's plaques everywhere. But so what's interesting there is like, I think this is also kind of revisionist history a little bit, where people talk about America was founded as a reaction to tyranny and one-way lawmaking, because the idea was we were a colony and we didn't have voting rights. Like we weren't in parliament in England, and they put this tax on us. But what's funny is Americans weren't really taxed very much. They were taxed a lot less than the British people. And they were still like, oh, you increased our tax from 1% to 2%?
The writing was on the wall for a long time before the Revolutionary War kicked off. Because people started thinking, like, why are all the decisions being made from some guy across the pond?
Yeah.
Why are we not making the decisions for our area?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like the taxation, I think, was kind of like the kindle that kind of sparked all the fire.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't the original.
Yeah, no, that wasn't like the base of that. I mean, there were people growing up, but then you have people like Benjamin Franklin was kind of old, but Sam Adams, and like all those people, they were in their mid-20s when they decided to do this, you know? But it's kind of like, you know, fighting against a tyrannical government, trying to find freedom for everyone.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, you're the warmonger, the guy going around beating up everyone and taking their lunch money.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's like whether or not you view America as a bully or as the world police, I really think depends on like your kind of political stance. Yeah. And I think there's good argumentation for either. Yeah. And I don't really want to address that because I think we'll just kind of get bogged down in the weeds on that. But going back to this identity thing of like, what is a real American?
Yeah. So I think one thing that's important for us to do here is, because we've been talking about the government a lot, we should separate the government from its people. Because those are like the Japanese people are not the same as the government.
It's very true. So it's very true. So like let's talk about what the average American is, or like what the ideal image of the average American. An average American, man or woman, is somebody who we pride ourselves on being able to think for ourselves and solve problems by ourselves. Specifically, like, you know what? 18 years old, you get kicked out of your family. Now nowadays
family's house.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But nowadays, that's changing. It's not really that way. But like that's still throughout our history. That's been the mentality of like, you know what? You are not going to be part of your family forever. Your family is responsible for raising you as a child. But even as a child, you're expected to do labor, right? Like I didn't grow up in that situation, but throughout American history, that has been the deal. It's like, we have kids because we got to have people help out on the farm. Yeah. You know, we're settlers. There's no town that's going to help us.
Yeah.
The only people around are people that are in our family. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that's the American idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny when you think about people, even from like the beginning of the 1900s, most of the kids, before they went to school, they were working a morning job. And when they finished school, they were working an evening job.
There is the most hilarious letter from World War I. This guy who was writing letters to his sister when he was fighting on the front lines of World War I when America entered the war. I talk about war. I like war. I'm a military guy.
You were in the war, so
yeah. But it's so funny because I think it really highlights like really how American people are, because so he's writing to his sister during the war, and he's just like, yeah, honestly, the Army's like pretty great. Like we get 3 meals a day. Like we have time to exercise and think. Like, you know, I remember, you know, sis, I remember being back on the farm with you. We were just like busy from like sun up to sundown. Yeah. We never had a lot of time. Yeah. And it's like, you know, being in these trenches, like it's not that bad. It's like, dude, you're literally talking about trench warfare. And you're saying like, oh yeah, this is, you know, back home, like the farm was way harder than this.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like there's so many examples throughout American history of like, you know, just kind of people talking like that. And I think that really highlights another thing that is really important to the American identity, which is like really talking about toughness and like resilience. Yeah. It's like, this ain't that bad. Yeah, like it could be so much worse than this.
Yeah. You know? It's funny you mentioned that because, I remember. Now I've kind of changed my opinion on that, but I think we talked about this in other episodes where, you know, when I'd go through the train stations, I remember I forget where it was, but it was in central Tokyo somewhere. I was walking up the stairs, and on the side of the stairs facing the people, they had like, beware of ATM fraud, beware of ATM fraud. like tokushu sagi chūi toka.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
It's so stupid.
Well, here's the thing, right? My first reaction to that was like,
duh.
Well, yeah, you think I'm a baby?
Like,
I'm not a baby. I can take care of myself.
Yeah.
But what's funny, though, is that those messages, I talked to my dad about this because my dad and I, we have similar values, go figure. We're part of the same family. And I talked to him about this. And it was funny because I used to feel the same way where I told him, in Japan, people just care about the results. They don't care if they're babying you or not, but that leads to lesser results. And he's like, yeah, well, I mean, if those people get into trouble because they were stupid, they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's a very American way of thinking.
It is a very American way.
Hey, if you want to mess up and die, that's your fault. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we can bring up a more modern example of like, going back to fat Americans.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Americans look at like, oh, the obesity problem. Yeah, if someone wants to go to McDonald's every day for the rest of their life and blow up like a blimp, like that's their thing.
Yeah.
That's the American thing. You can do what you want here.
Yeah. But what's also another thing that's interesting though is I feel like, in the newer generations, this kind of personality that we're talking about, these values, are really gone by the wayside.
Yeah, and I think to tie it in with some of our previous episodes, I think we've talked about we talked about Christianity recently, right? Yeah. America was funded on Christian morals, and one of a really important Christian moral, or that you'll see in this is being able to do stuff by yourself.
Okay.
Not be, it's like you're gonna say, God, I'm drunk. You're gonna say like, okay, where are you getting from? It's from the old proverb of you teach a man to fish, he can fish for his life. You give a man a fish, he's gonna keep coming back to you and getting fish, right?
Yeah.
And that is a fundamental Christian mentality.
Yeah.
Right? And America's funded on Christian morals.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a quote that people say all the time that they think is in the Bible.
Yeah.
And it's, God helps those who help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually not in the Bible, but a lot of people think that that's in the Bible.
Yeah.
But God helps those who help themselves,
Yeah.
And that's totally what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people misunderstand like the meaning of that.
Yeah.
Like God helps people who help themselves. And they think like that means a very selfish take on it. Like I need to look out for myself.
Yeah.
But helping yourself means helping those around you.
Okay.
Because if you're helping those around you, then you are essentially helping yourself because those people will be willing to like take you in when you're having a hard time.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
I've never thought about
and
that.
that a lot of you can see that a lot, especially in like the South in the US.
Yeah.
Right? People will give you the shirt off their back, and I'm not exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are very, very, very friendly in the Southern United States.
Yeah.
Like it almost kind of upsets me because I know there's like this big stigma of like racism in the South, and to be fair, it's like there is.
Dude,
but
okay, we'll put that on a different video. Please continue.
But at this exact same time, you will not find a nicer group of Americans than in the Southern United States.
Yeah.
You won't.
Yeah.
Those people will take you in. They will do everything they can to take care of you.
Yeah.
And not expect anything in return.
Yeah, it's just that's the kind of issue you really talk about. I think one, I don't know how many people in our audience like to read books.
Okay.
Because reading books is like a lost art.
But it really is, though.
It is. But there's this one book called by Alexander de Tocqueville.
Okay.
Have you heard of On America? I think it's called. So this Democracy in America, that's what it's called. So,
no, I haven't.
So this book, I recommend anyone who's interested in American culture to read this book. This is I'm sure there's a Japanese translation. This is a very famous book.
Yeah.
It's called Democracy in America by Alexis de Tocqueville.
Yeah.
And basically, the background behind this is that de Tocqueville was a French aristocrat who somehow survived the French Revolution where they killed the monarchy.
Yeah.
And they had a democratic society.
Yeah.
And he was sent to America to study how democracy worked in America so that France would not become a failed state. So he goes through America, and at this time, this is still in like the late 1700s, early 1800s.
Yeah.
And he's still mainly in the former 13 colonies. This is before expansion to the west. And he goes through looking at what Americans are like.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, though, that he said that really struck me as something real now that I thought was actually not American, something more recent, is he said that Americans have an above average quality of life on average than people in Europe.
Yeah.
But they compare themselves to the super rich and they are dissatisfied. They would rather everyone be poor than they be better than poor and some people be much better than poor.
Yeah.
And you really start to see that mindset coming out in the States a lot. Like when I look at social media in the States now, there's so much criticism against like ultra rich, ultra rich. And it's like, well, I thought that felt foreign to me, but that's something that's even, he was talking about 250 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, we should probably read this. We've been talking about this for a while, but we kind of went around the topic a little bit. But if you guys, I'm kind of curious to hear from our listeners or viewers watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
What you guys think about Americans. Like, what does it mean to be American? What's your image of America? Because
I think we kind of addressed it a little bit more than you're giving credit.
Well, we did.
You said we went around it, but like
we addressed it for a little bit. Then we went this way. Then we addressed it again. And we went this way.
But it's like the thing is, you can't really pin like what it is to be American because it really depends on like who you're talking to. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's some core fundamental values that like every American would agree that do-it-yourself culture is very American.
But there's so many like people who are into socialism, communism now.
Oh yeah, well,
and they're born in America. It's funny actually. I know. Okay, we're over time, but I remember seeing this video of this this Latin American dude who came to America legally, and he started his own restaurant. Yeah, and he has his papers. He's legal. Yeah. And he was saying he likes the American dream and he came to America because he could have a better life and he wants to work hard. Yeah. And I was looking at this guy thinking, man, this guy is more American than a lot of Americans I know.
Bro, the amount of it's so crazy. Again, like, look, I'm going to bring up politics, but it's so crazy to me when, like, we talk about like identity politics being like a white person versus everybody else issue. When, guess if you look at the Hispanic population, guess who they voted for?
Who?
Predominantly Trump. Yeah. They love him. Yeah. You know? What did Trump run on? He ran on kicking out illegal immigrants, basically saying screw you to like every other country in the world, which, you know, I personally don't really agree with. Yeah. I think that's caused a lot of problems. Yeah. But like he ran on the issue with like, especially like kicking out illegal immigrants. You would think that like, you know, a bunch of like Central and South Americans would be like, hey, no, that's not cool. Those are our family members. A lot of those people are like holding up the signs going, kick them out. Yeah. And you want to know why? It's because a lot of immigrants who have actually gone through the process of going into America are pissed off that like people are skipping the line, basically. Yeah. It's like not me personally, but it's like the idea is like I went through all this trouble to get here and then you're just going to come in and then magically say that you're here.
Yeah. It's like the elevator story you share with me off camera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw that in there too. But anyways, it's been a while. This is a little bit of a long of a conversation.
A little bit. Man, we're like at 40 minutes now. It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. See you guys.